You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
I'm Stephen Cabral, and I'm looking forward to our second host call of the weekend. So hopefully you tuned in yesterday. There were some amazing questions, very different from today's questions, and that's why I really enjoy these house calls, is I literally answer questions about the elderly, infants, children, and everyone in between, and that's really a lot like my practices, whether I'm speaking to people through Skype or I'm seeing people in my office, is that I have actually a call, I know, next Tuesday with someone whose infant, just a couple months old, has really full body psoriasis, and what I do to help children with cradle cap, psoriasis, eczema, and how we can typically turn that around fairly quickly as well. So that's obviously just one example, and I like to give these answers, same exact answers, to people all around the world as well. So let's get started. I want to make sure that we get all of our questions in, and the first one is from Anonymous. He or she writes in, "Hi, Dr. Ball. I love your podcast. I've learned so much from you. I believe I have mild symptoms of leaky gut, hypothyroidism, which is low thyroid, Candida, and food sensitivities, for which I am following a protocol through my naturopath." And they go on to talk about what they are doing specifically. They say that their bloating has reduced and energy is better, but still have the following, which looks like poor still food sensitivities, dark circles, cold hands, poor circulation of the feet, hair and eyelash thinning, weakening of the eyes, hair falling out, hair is turning gray, hard to lose fat, hard to lose cellulite, and overall not feeling as well as they should. So that basically goes on and on. And so here's the thing. I know that you're working with a naturopath, which is fantastic, and I think that you should continue to do that. And you believe that you have leaky gut, hypothyroid, low thyroid, Candida, and food sensitivity. So I would say you are probably right? Especially if you ran an organic acids test, if you ran a thyroid-based panel, if you ran a food sensitivity test, well, you're going to find all of those things out specifically. So, the issue is that you're feeling a little bit better, but not a whole lot better. And you say these issues started when you were 17, now you're 27. So the only issue I see is that I don't know how long you've been following this plan. So a lot of people, they'll come to me, they'll come to another naturopath or a functional medicine doctor or whoever it might be. And if they don't feel better after, let's say, 7 days, then the plan doesn't work. They just believe it doesn't work. And you just have to sometimes you have to laugh so that you don't go completely insane. So, and actually, you know what? Tune in tomorrow. This is actually going to be a really, really important show tomorrow. Tune into tomorrow's show. It's about reframing expectations to increase your happiness. I think you're going to enjoy that show. It helped me out a lot, this vision. But what I want to say to you is if you've been on this protocol for 12 weeks and you're still feeling like your bloating is not totally better, that your energy still hasn't increased to what you would like it to be, and that you still have these cold hands, cold feet, because it sounds like you have lowered metabolism, right? I mean, you have all of the signs of low metabolism. Low energy, you've got the poor circulation, you've got the lowered thyroid, you have the hair thinning, you've got the weight gain, you have the cellulite. So, there's absolutely an issue with the most likely adrenals, with most likely the thyroid, because they go together. It's so hard to separate your thyroid from your adrenals and your adrenals from your thyroid. It's nearly impossible. So you have to make sure those go work together. And then to say, okay, well, what's the major stressor in my body that could potentially be really wearing down my thyroid? And the big thing is, well, we need to look at that gut permeability, because the gut permeability basically just sends off a cytokine storm or immune-based reaction in your body. And think about it. Like, what if you had a cold for 365 days of the year? You'd be exhausted. Well, the same thing happens, just not outwardly. It happens inside your gut when you have inflammation there all the time from even healthy foods. So, my thing is this. If you haven't run a food sensitivity test, do that, or at least start rebuilding that gut. Use the Candida protocol of your naturopath. Use our Candida protocol, whatever you would like to do. Then rebuild your gut. Make sure you're getting your glutamine, your zinc carnosine, that you are using, let's say, a good quality, after you remove the bacteria, after you remove the Candida, a good quality probiotic like the Clean Gut probiotic, and then switching over to the daily probiotic support. And that will help you start to rebuild that gut. And then at the same time, you can use things to help boost your thyroid, like selenium, like iodine, like zinc, and like magnesium, like copper, like all of those things, right? You want to use a good quality multivitamin is what I'm saying. And then you can add in a little extra of everything. All you have to do is use our activated multi. It costs no more than any other multivitamin, so everyone should be using one anyways, or our daily nutritional support shake. Either one of those is going to supply you with the iodine and selenium that you need. If that's not enough after 3 weeks, you can always give yourself a little bit more of a boost. But the whole point for me designing those was so that you only have to use one product, not literally 12 products. If you go to dailysupportshake.com. I'm really bad at these website names, but dailysupportshake.com. You'll literally see that the shake or the activated multi is just the activated multi doesn't have the protein in it, so it's not a meal replacement. It replaces 12 different other vitamins, and that saves you like a couple $100 a month. We all know that supplements can add up. You might as well make it a little less expensive. All right, so hopefully that's a great start. Keep going. You're obviously moving in the right direction. You're working with great people, so keep pushing forward. Jenna's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I'm so glad I found you on Instagram. I listen to the podcast regularly and value the information you share. What an honor it would be to meet with you one day. Thank you for your passion. Thank you, Jenna. I appreciate that. There are so many questions that I want to ask, but I've narrowed it down to one. All right. I have a plantar's wart on my foot for almost 20 years. I've tried many methods of treating it and nothing has worked. I've had it frozen, cut out, special topical ointments, kind of on and on, all the different things used, apple cider vinegar, coconut oil, tea tree oil. All great, right? All really great things. It's slowly spreading and at times can be painful. It's also uncomfortable. It can be a bit embarrassing. Any thoughts? I'm a big believer that we can heal things life throw at us if we are addressing the right areas of our health and wellness. Thank you for any insight into this annoying issue. So, Jen, I've actually answered this question before, so this is going to be a quick answer. I'm going to send you to the podcast where I answered it. It's on podcast 294. So I believe we're at, 380 today. Wow, 380. So this was then a few months back because I do, 30 per month. So we'll do the math. That's about 4 months ago. So what I want to say is this. I want to give you the short, but then I want you to listen to the whole show. There is a treatment for plantar's warts. You're going to laugh when you hear it, but it works. And I said it on that show and I've said it now. I still haven't looked into exactly why it works, but it works. And so what you want to do is you want to actually use a banana peel and you want to cut the banana peel into like a dime-sized piece. And if you're not from the US, that would be maybe the size of your thumbnail. So you want it to cover the entire area of the wart and then you want to tape over it. So you can use a Band-Aid. But what you want to do is you want to keep that banana peel on. Some people just do it overnight and some people use it during the day. Just keep it on the whole time. You'll see over the course of about a week that the banana peel actually dissolves the plantar's wart. Again, these are one of those amazing things where food truly is medicine. Now, if you pique my curiosity again, when I give this recommendation, then I just kind of forget about it because I'm not giving this recommendation often. But it does work. And to be honest with you, so many people have used it now that at first I would laugh something like this off easily and I would never make that recommendation, but it works. Grapefruit seed extract works for a lot of people as well, but the banana peel is obviously nothing because you can eat the banana or freeze it for later and put in your smoothies, and then you can just use the banana peel. Why not? What's the harm? It's one of those things where even if you don't believe it, you don't buy into it, no problem. Try it for a week. Why not? Try it for a week. Nothing. The worst thing that happens is that your skin gets a little bit of banana on it. That's literally it. That's the worst case scenario with this. So check it out. Check out to see how that works for you. And then internally, what you're going to want to do is a lot of times plantar warts, they can be caused by a lot of different things. So I can't give you specifically one. Yes, sometimes it's fungal based. Sometimes it's bacterial overgrowth based. Sometimes it's stress based. And sometimes that stress also leads to viruses and that virus can create those warts as well. So you kind of work on your overall wellness, but that was your tip for the day. So check out stephencabral.com/294 for that full show. All right, Kevin's up next. Kevin's asking, hi, Dr. Cabral. You have helped my wife and I with so many things for ourselves, and now we seek guidance for our 8-year-old son. He's developed into a moderately selective eater. He eats relatively healthy for the most part, but only tries a few new things. I've read quite a bit about this, and there are a lot of opinions ranging from make one meal that let him decide if he eats it or not, or just make him eat what he wants and not worry about it. Sure would value your thoughts on this. Appreciate everything you do, Kevin. All right. Thank you, Kevin. And, if I've been able to help in any way for you and your wife, then that's really great for me to hear. It is what I do, and I love hearing that. So thank you for writing in. I appreciate that. So here's my advice. Some children are pickier eaters than others. So here's my thing. We need to find out why. Sometimes children know subconsciously, they get that gut feeling, right, that they shouldn't be eating certain foods. Sometimes we need to listen to that. Okay, so sometimes innately, and we lose it as an adult, but innately we know, our bodies know, don't eat that food, right? It's what a lot of people equate to muscle testing, that your body somehow, your nervous system is saying, no, don't do that, don't do that. It's like that gut feeling. So we have to weigh that versus maybe this child just wants to eat chocolate cake, right? It's one of those things. So here's the thing. Here's what I want you to look at. I want you to look at, does your son have any constipation? If the answer is yes, we need to clear up that constipation because he could have an impacted colon full of stool, and of course you're not going to want to eat. Does he have any type of bloating after he eats? Does he have kind of foul-smelling gas or a lot of gas after he eats certain things? That could be Candida overgrowth or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth from even just one dose of antibiotics, or just, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Everything's okay. Everything will be fine. But sometimes the mom can pass on her flora, which isn't exactly balanced, her intestinal flora, onto the child, and that it never gets the proper bacterial balance in the gut. And so, again, they could use the daily probiotic support for children. That works perfectly fine. You could do a half a capsule to 1 capsule per day, and you could just do it for 30 days if you'd like. Put it in water, put it in a smoothie. And that's what I do for my girls as well. And that will help balance that as well, only if they don't have the Candida or SIBO. And then you might want to check for food sensitivities. So it's a simple finger poke. I know that kids don't love it, but I'll tell you, you get a lot of great results from a food sensitivity test. It's definitely probably our number one. People love to see those results, and they say, okay, I ate some dairy, I ate some gluten, I ate some corn, I ate some eggs, and I ate a few things for a couple days in a row. I took that test, and lo and behold, I am sensitive to pumpkin and banana and asparagus and random things that you would never know that cause inflammation. And then one more thing I want you to think about is silent reflux. Some kids, not usually at 8 years old, but some children get this silent reflux, and it's a hard one to pin down, except sometimes it can wake them up at night or they don't feel as well when they're lying down. So check that out as well. And so one other thing I would say is this: don't force the food on children. You want them to eat their vegetables. So like with my girls, when they kind of first started out, you have to say, I want you to try one bite of everything in your plate, because what you need to do is you actually need to acclimate the taste buds, which takes, I've seen anywhere from 6 to 12 times of tasting of food to kind of acclimate your taste buds to that. Healthy foods, of course, right? Sugar, you're immediately acclimated to that. And that's because our bodies are programmed to want sweet. And that would because it would increase our blood sugar levels. It would give us energy, of course, but also sometimes it came along with minerals way back in the day as well. But also it would actually help us to gain weight, straight sugar, and that would be great for survival. Not so great now, right? So the other thing I would say is this: you could think about. Let me make one more tip before the food. Just make sure your son try to get them to do a smoothie in the morning, or you can make something fun like we'll do is like an acai bowl, which is a smoothie bowl. That's all. You just make it with less water. You add some coconut cream to that or some frozen banana, however you want to make it, and you make it nice and thick. Put some coconut oil in there. Put some hemp powder or some all-in-one powder. When we come ours out in a few months, it'll be for kids as well. Put the multivitamin in there. Put some greens powder in there. Put all that good stuff in there, but make it really nice tasting. Maybe put a date or 2 in there. Make it something that's very palatable that they enjoy. Make it into popsicles if you want. And then you know that your son's going to get all the vitamins and minerals that he needs for the day. So just make sure that his actual nutrient requirements are taken care of with 100% RDA and just, a really good quality one that I talked about yesterday on the show as well. So that's what I would do. And then next, what I would do after that, you did the omega-3s, you did the greens, you did the smoothie, you did all that great stuff, is then make a fallback meal. Now, my kids are always going to eat what we put on their plate. They're going to try it. And then if for some reason they're not going to eat all of that, then we can have a healthy fallback meal that might be some good nutrients that's already kind of pre-made or easy to make, that they could have that as well. And so that's what we do. Raising kids, as you know, is not the easiest thing, but you want to raise them to be healthy, and you don't want to create any strange food-based issues in terms of psychology where you're kind of forcing them to eat certain foods. And so hopefully that answers your question. All right. Jen is up next, a second Jen. Or maybe the same Jen, but it's a different question. Hi, Dr. Bald. Thanks so much for your podcast. I love listening to it every day. I'm starting the bacterial and Candida cleanse protocol soon. And as I look through the meal plan, I'm beginning to become a little concerned. I may get hungry throughout the day. I have an ectomorph body type, which just means she's a thinner bone structure body type, and typically have a few snacks during the day between meals. I'm on my feet during the day, and I like to work out after work. I do not want to disrupt the cleanse process, so I want to ask before I started in case I feel the need to snack. Do you have any suggestions for what type of snacks I could have, or if I could bulk up the meals with a certain group? Would it be more harmful to increase a certain recommended food group? My last question, I know they're not on the list, so just double checking if you would approve chia seeds, flax seeds, salmon, coconut oil, or cooking of any type of tea. I probably didn't read that right. Thanks so much for everything you do. I'm extremely excited to commit to this protocol and get rid of all my Candida and bacterial dysbiosis symptoms. Best, Jen. Okay, so this is going to be really easy for you. Anyone that orders our Candida and bacterial overgrowth protocol, it's easily our most popular overall protocol on the online store. And you can just find it by going to stephencabral.com/store and then just click on the little supplements tab. So what it is you get exactly how I would run this in my practice. You get the nutritional supplements, but you also get how I use them, which is different than how it is in the bottle. And I do it as a step-by-step process. I worked from gentlest, month 1, a little bit stronger, month 2, and strongest, month 3. Apparently I can't speak today. So the big thing is you do that so there's no Herxheimer, there's no real die-off-based issues, especially really not after the first week or two. So what I would say is this, though. You also get a whole food shopping list of all approved foods. And just one thing to note is that all of the foods that you asked, chia seeds, flax seeds, salmon, coconut oil, those are all on your plan. So just make sure that you have our one-page, it's called the Sensitive Gut Guide. It only comes with the supplement protocol and obviously anyone that I work with. So those are all approved. The ones you're asking about, chia seeds, flax seeds, and coconut oil, are on the fat category. So when you're looking at fat, you'll see olive oil, you see avocado, and you'll see the other ones that are approved. So check that out. They are approved. Those are okay. Salmon is absolutely approved because all fish is approved. So you can eat any type of fish and truly any type of protein. We do not feel is best pork or red meat on the Candida protocol, so we don't recommend those. Not because they would feed yeast or bacteria, but because they simply will not be digested very well and will rot and putrefy in people without a very good, strong digestion. So that answers that question. Those are all okay. And tea, yes, you can do tea. And really, whatever type you would like, the absolute best tea you can do for Candida and bacterial overgrowth is something called Pau Darko. It's just D-A or D'-A-R-C-O. And that's fantastic because that's anti-yeast in and of itself. It's antifungal. Amazing thing how they figure out these things. Just a little side note here is that when they're looking in like the rainforest or a place like that where this specific moss grows, is that it does not. So like super interesting is that on this, I should say this herb will not, it's an antifungal, which means yeast and other fungus type things will not grow on it. So in nature, thousands of years ago, oh, this is interesting. I wonder if this would help remove yeast. And lo and behold, it does. Ginger tea is also great. So before I go on a whole yeast protocol, I need to reel myself back in. And then in terms of snacking, the reason we don't want you to do that is, again, most people have a sluggish gut, sluggish colon, slow peristaltic wave. So we want to make sure that you eat food and then it moves through your stomach and then into your intestine before we put the next meal in. So I certainly wouldn't want you eating before every 3 to 4 hours on this protocol. That means that you're going to eat more. You're going to eat more at each specific meal. So you can have a little bit more for breakfast, a little bit more for lunch, a little bit more in your mid-afternoon snack, and a little bit more at dinner. So really the only thing that you're missing is your mid-morning snack that you would typically have. And we like to just keep the digestion really, really simple in the morning. A smoothie in the morning is what's recommended, so that's what I'm recommending for you. And you can just kind of split that up. You can drink it over an hour or 2 hour period, which will work great. So can you increase any of those groups? Yes, the ones that are best to increase would be your protein and your fats, and then you can increase the others as you see fit. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, next up is Vivian. Vivian, I believe, is our last question of the day, so we're doing all right. Vivian asks, hello, Dr. Ball. Thank you so much for all you do. Don't know how you do it all, but perhaps one day you'll offer a post on your time management skills. You was curious if you could comment on biopsy clips. My allopathic doctor shot several titanium clips into me to mark several masses located in the armpit area. The masses have all shrunk. And so she's talking about how she switched to a holistic routine, and she's heard me talk about things like thermography. She knows that she has these titanium clips still in there, and it says has moved about 1 inch in the last 3 months. What would be the safest way to have them removed? The more research I do, the more I'm convinced I'm better off not having anything foreign inside my body. Thanks a million. So I've gotten this question a couple times, and I'm happy to answer this. The truth is this, that we really, as humans, we don't want to put metals in our body. We honestly don't. We can put in like trace metals, trace minerals, and like metals in our body that are more natural. So there are some things that you're just going to have, like meaning like when a lot of people have surgeries, they have screws and pins and other things put in. When you're marking different masses, sometimes cancerous tumors, they will mark it with that titanium clip, that piece of metal. They'll be able to find it. They'll be able to x-ray it. They'll be able to look at it. But if possible, with any surgery, with metal in your mouth from dental-based work like mercury amalgams or silver amalgams, and I say silver in quotations because it's aluminum, mercury, and other metals, that if possible, you do want to have those removed. You really do. You want to do it by a qualified physician or dentist. So here's the thing. I'm going to give you the research. I did the research for you. So I said, well, I've never read any research on titanium clips, but I know that heavy metals in general have led to autoimmune-based issues, inflammation, and cancer. And that's because your immune system will look at the foreign metal and say, we should attack this, we should increase inflammation, and you have an actual immune-based response. So that happens with all heavy metals. Over time, it can become a much larger issue. When they're looking at titanium clips, I've seen the studies done on sheep. Now, I know it's sheep, it's not humans, but what they've shown is that there doesn't seem to be a correlation with other health issues over time. But again, they're looking at sheep, not humans. So take that with a grain of salt. But right now, there's at least no research that I can find, and I did look on PubMed and other places, that ties directly titanium clips, meaning like actual titanium pieces, to increased risk of cancer, those types of things. However, titanium dioxide nanoparticles found in sunscreen and other cosmetics has been shown with an increased correlation to breast cancer and other types of cancer. So, for me, I try to just extrapolate that type of data and analysis and saying, okay, well, what's a nanoparticle? It means a very small particle of titanium, in this case, titanium dioxide. It is a specific type of metal. Then that could cause potentially increase in cancer or inflammation or autoimmune-based issue. So this is my opinion to you. My opinion is if you're able to have those removed, have them removed. It would probably be non-invasive surgery where they go in right under the skin, remove the titanium clip, and then you will hopefully be free and clear. If it was me, this would put my mind at ease and I would, feel better overall. And I think that's a perfectly adequate way to go about it in the future for anything. Meaning that if you have to keep metal screws in your hip or whatever it might be, well, then that is what it is. If you had a hip replacement and it's made of titanium, fine, it is what it is. And again, what we're looking at right now is no specific research that says it increases cancer. However, again, I'm giving you my opinion of what I would do. I would say any metal that I can have removed from my body that's foreign, that shouldn't be there, is what I'm going to do. So hopefully that answers your question and you got a little bit of value from that. Thank you everyone for tuning into this week's Cabral House Calls. Love answering your questions. And next week I'll be back with another 10, that's for sure. And I know we're about 20 deep in the queue, so we've got a few weeks to catch up. I certainly will get to those. If you're writing in questions, feel free to write in anything that you would like. If we can keep it to one main question, of course you can ask other things. I'm okay either way, but I do want to make sure that we get to everybody's question, and I'm always happy to answer those. So again, tune back tomorrow. We have what I think is going to be a fantastic motivation and mindset Monday, talking about reframing your expectations. This is really, really important for anyone that has any type of weight loss, anti-aging, or wellness goals. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of the weekend. I look forward to speaking with you tomorrow. Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.